Hello, and today I'm excited to bring you a brand new series of what we're calling mini bytes, short, sharp, theoretical and how-to videos in the world of data science and data analytics. We're going to take you through concepts and we're going to try and explain them in a very, very short time, but also give you the maximal knowledge on those areas that we're looking at. And we're going to start today with dplyr, a subject that is very, very close to my heart. As you can see, it's a hex sticker, so that means it's an R package, and dplyr is one of the most downloaded packages from CRAN, the Comprehensive R Archive Network, basically the network of packages on R. dplyr is a package that can assist powerfully with data wrangling and data cleaning, and it's built around 5 verbs: arrange, filter, mutate, select, and summarize. And today I'm going to take you through how to use each of those verbs. So let's go. So here I am in my R coding console. Today we're going to use the Tennis Grand Slams dataset, which we use in our data wrangling R courses. As this is a mini bytes video, we're obviously only going to scratch the surface today. So if you want to learn a little bit more, get in touch and we can talk to you about some of the deeper training plans that we have on R and data wrangling. Anyway, a quick introduction to the data frame. I've got the name of a tennis player, I've got a Grand Slam, I've got their date of birth, the date they won their first title, and their age. So let's go and start using the 5 verbs. Now, the first thing that we have to do before we do anything is load the package we require for this script. Doing some live coding here, what could go wrong? And I'm going to load, rather than dplyr, I'm going to load the whole tidyverse. dplyr is part of the tidyverse. It's a collection of packages that can be used together for data wrangling and data science. So rather than just loading one, I get all 8 packages of the tidyverse. Brilliant. So that's in. So let's start with the arrange verb. So arrange, it's exactly what you'd imagine it is from what it says. It's sorting a variable either in an ascending or a descending way. And numerically here, probably one of the best variables to look at would be age. Now, first of all, in the data set, I can see age as a character variable. So I want to convert age to numeric before I do that. So I'm going to say tennis Grand Slams age. And that is going to be as numeric. Tennis Grand Slams age. Through, and there are some NAs. That's fine. We've still got a mainly numeric variable here. Great. So now we can arrange it. So to arrange it, it simply is using the word arrange. So I'm going to take my tennis Grand Slams data frame and I'm going to call it arranged. Not do it in capitals. And that is going to be tennis Grand Slams. And we're going to use the pipe operator. So the pipe is a really useful operator, particularly within the dplyr package. It takes what we've got here on the left-hand side and uses that as the first argument of what we're going to put here on the right-hand side. So we don't have to keep specifying the data frame that we're using. So we're just going to say arrange. We don't need to specify the data frame because it's piped in from the left. And we're going to arrange that by age. And then if we look at tennis Grand Slams arranged here, you can see that we've now got it from age from the lowest all the way down to the highest. And if we simply wanted to arrange that from the highest to the lowest, we can just put a minus in front of age, and then we can go back to our data frame and we can see it's highest to lowest. Great. So the next thing is filter. Now, what we might want to do, for example, is we might want to filter out the Grand Slam here. Where in England, we like a little bit of Wimbledon. I've certainly been a few times and I love going. So let's filter out all of the Wimbledon data. So we're going to look at filter and we're going to say tennis Grand Slams and we'll call it Wimbledon. So we're going to, if I can spell it, so we're going to filter out Wimbledon and that is going to be tennis Grand Slams. I'm going to use the pipe again and all we're going to say is filter. And that column was called Grand Slam. So grand underscore slam equals Wimbledon. There we go. Wonderful. And naturally, I need to put, this is live coding, things can go wrong. Didn't put my 2 equal signs in there. So there we go. And now we can have a look at tennis, Grand Slams, Wimbledon, and you can see I've only got Wimbledon's in here. So let's have a look at mutate. Mutate is the one that maybe is a little bit trickier to work out what that's doing, because what does a mutate mean or do? Mutate is simply to add a new column to the data set. Now we've just made age numeric. So this was the age column here, but I don't really like that because that's the age in days, and I really want that in years. Okay, so I'm going to say tennis Grand Slams, and I'm not going to create a new data frame because I'm just adding to it. So there's not much damage I can do to the original. And again, we're going to pipe and we'll say mutate, and we're going to call this one age years. So we can create the days to years, and I'm just going to say age divided by 365. But I kind of feel I want a whole number here because age is, you know, you say you're a certain age. We're not kids and say we're 8.5 or 2 3/4 or whatever. So I'm going to round that, and I'm just going to round that to 0 decimal places, and then we can run that through. And then if we have a look here, we've got the age in years. Brilliant. So now we can look at the next verb within dplyr. So the next one is select. So let's go back to the data frame and have a look. So what have we got in here? I kind of want to know the player and the Grand Slam, and maybe I want to know how old they were in years. So I can go in and put tennis Grand Slams, and let's call this one selected. And we'll use the pipe operator again, and then we're going to say select, and perhaps we will say, so what did we say we wanted? Let's go back into the table. We want the name, let's select name, Grand Slam, and age years. We've got tennis Grand Slam selected. And actually we can always select in other fields, so I could have changed this and put in date, first title as well. And then I can go back here and look at my selected one, and I've got the 4 in there as well. Now we can also use it to deselect. So we selected 4 fields. Actually, it might have just been easier to drop the 2 fields that we didn't want. So if I call this selected 1, and then I'm going to go into tennis Grand Slams, and I'm going to say select. But this time, because I want to deselect, I'm just going to use the minus in front of it. I'm just going to put them in a vector so it deselects everything within that vector. So what did we take out? We took out the date of birth and the age. So let's just say deselect here, date of birth, age, and then I can look at tennis Grand Slams selected 1. Kind of need a bit more space here to read them, but you can see I've still got the same data frame. So you can select and deselect in the same way. So the final one is summarise. Now let's go back to the data frame and have a look. What could we summarise in here? What we might want to do is maybe look at, I don't know, the mean age of somebody when they win their first title by Grand Slam. That could be quite interesting. So let's close some of these down, try and keep our console clear. That's a good top tip in R. Right, let's go back here and let's say summarized. So we are going to do, let's do first title summary. Let's call it something different from tennis Grand Slams. Why not? Because we can. And we will say tennis Grand Slams and what we want to do. So summarize, we want to do it by Grand Slam. So the first thing we have to do is tell it to group by Grand Slam. Otherwise, we'll just get a 1 number summary for the whole of the data set. So we'll say group by Grand Slam, and then we want to summarize. So summarize, you can put in any function. You could do a sum, you could do an average, which could be a mean, a median, etc. You could do a count. In this case, we're going to do a mean. We want the mean age years, and that's for each of the tournaments, and then we can run that through. So you can see we've got a nice small short data frame here. Now you can see there's some issues with this. We've got Australian Open December, Australian Open January. We've got a lot of Australian Opens, but you can see if we just hopefully one of these will be the correct one, but the Australian Open, we've got all sorts of ranges from 23, I think, up to sort of 29 there. We got almost 23 for the US Open, a little bit older for Wimbledon, somewhere in the middle for the French Open. We can probably tidy up these Australian Opens. That's a little bit beyond the scope of this as a mini bytes video. But hopefully that gives you a little bit more of an insight into how you can use the 5 verbs of dplyr. I shall save and share this code in a link below, and I'll share the data set as well. It's a Kaggle data set, so you could either get it from Kaggle or we'll put a link to it on a GitHub page too. Hopefully that was useful. We'd love you to come back for our next in the series of exciting data science and data analytics mini bytes. Thank you.